Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be going through how you can spot a fake Spyderco if you're looking to buy, or how you can tell if you've already bought a fake Spyderco. It's going to kind of be a continuation of one of my most popular videos, how to spot a fake Benchmade, and I hope to kind of bring some information to y'all and make sure that you're well informed before you go spend a lot of money on a knife. So first we're going to start out similarly to Benchmade. We're going to make sure we look at the box. We know that if it's a fake box, there's a good chance that the knife is fake. And just because it is not a fake box does not mean that the knife is, real. But that is a good first indication of whether or not your Spyderco is fake. So first off, with the box, you'll see we have this big whitish stripe that goes all the way through the box. A big tell of fakes is that they won't be able to get the line to go all the way through. They'll kind of have to just stop once it hits the golden Spyderco logo. Also, on some of the boxes, the logo will be kind of just off a little bit. If you're looking at a real box, this is a real box. These are both real boxes. I don't know if you saw that one before, but that is kind of a good tell as well if it's fake. The labels will generally, this is what it should look like. It'll have the name of the model and it'll have kind of numbers and stuff. So generally the label's not as easy to see as well as Benchmade has a very clear label, but also on some of the boxes there will be typos on the back words. So it's a very easy, quick glance. You can just read through and see, are there any typos like performance? It's a common one, or other stuff like superior is spelled wrong occasionally. So quite easy to tell with the boxes. Inside the box, it should come with a sticker and like a product information and warranty guide. And then I think there's a little strip of foam on the bottom. So just make sure your stuff looks like this. But again, box is not always a guarantee. So we have native 5 and folded up like this, nicely to fit in the box. But we'll move on from the boxes now into the actual knives. So first thing that I do when I am, double checking, if I'm looking on eBay, just shopping around at a pawn shop or looking for used stuff, or if people are just asking, the first thing, number one thing, is to check the font and the blade steel and the size, as well as the location. So oftentimes on fake Spyderco knives, the Spyderco will be just off in multiple different ways. It could be some of the letters are capital, just randomly in the middle. So SP, capital Y, Derco. The spelling will be wrong, like Spyderco. There'll be no O. The steel will just be blatantly wrong. So like CPM S60V or like something like that, something random, just 30V. CSM or anything crazy like that. Make sure that again, I harped on this with Benchmade, the model that you're buying, make sure that it actually existed at one point. So Spyderco is notorious for having all kinds of different steels, and it's cool that they do that, but that oftentimes even somebody experienced in knives as myself will not be caught up on the latest steel. So I think they just released one called like micro melt something, and I would see that if I'm not really paying attention to what model I'm buying and be like, that's kind of weird, I've never heard of that before. So just make sure it's a legit steel, make sure that steel actually was made at one point. A quick Google search will help you out with that. And then as well, on the back, the location, know which factory that your Spyderco came from. I believe there's Golden, Colorado, Seki City, Japan, there's one in Italy, one in China, and one in Taiwan. I'm not entirely sure I have a Tenacious here that was made in China, but I don't know if it says the factory on there. Yeah, so it doesn't say the factory on the foreign ones, but I do know Golden, Colorado oftentimes will be spelled wrong. I've seen pictures of Golden, Colorado with no O, or sometimes the USA Earth will be off. And it's quite easy to just see. That's a very easy first check. Just first glance, make sure everything's spelled right, make sure the steel is correct, and other things like that. Now, second big thing on the blade, this spider is going to be obviously on all their Spyderco knives. I'm gonna try to get it on the camera so you can see. There's a little triangle, kind of like the mouth of the spider there. It's not wanting to focus here. So that triangle, if it'll focus, you'll see there's a little white triangle. That triangle, let me try a black one, see if that's easier. That triangle should be quite pointy if it is there at all. If it's not there at all, it's a fake, telltale sign of a fake. If it is there and it's not really pointy and steep, sometimes they'll just be more flat like that. that is, again, another telltale sign that it's fake. It should kind of look like the box triangle. It's a pretty sharp triangle, if that makes sense. So super easy to see. And on the back, on the particular model that you're getting, if it was designed by somebody in particular. So I think this is Sal Glesser's logo. I'm pretty sure. I don't exactly know. You don't really even have to know who it's by, but just know that you should be looking for a logo on the back. And an easy way to do that is just go on to Spyderco's website or any major knife retailer website like Blade HQ, Smoky Mountain Knife Works, any of the big guys, and check and see the picture that they've used for the Spyderco. So I know on the paramilitary too, there's 2 logos. There should be one like with a little arrow harpoon type thing there, as well as another one on the blade. Pretty sure there's like Sal and Eric Glesser, the founders of Spyderco, but some of the other ones might have different logos on there. So that's the quick, easy, big checks, the box and the blade. Now, if all those check out, you're probably gonna be fine. However, if not, we're gonna still kind of go through a couple other things that will help you out if you know, that checks out and you wanna double check and be absolutely certain. Factory seconds, which is basically where Spyderco does a sale a couple times a year, I think twice a year, where they put a little notch on the blade. The camera is not wanting to focus right now. There's a notch on the blade, kind of continuation of the jimping. And as far as I know, I've never seen a fake factory second. So that notch indicates that the knife did not meet Spyderco's standards and was thereby sold at a factory second sale where you can buy them at a pretty steep discount. But I don't think people fake those. Again, as far as I know, I've never seen anyone fake those. So that's generally a sign that it's real. It just means it was factory second. It doesn't mean it was a you know, actual, I guess, production Spyderco that came off the factory line. So if there is something wrong with it, that's why. But that means that it is a genuine Spyderco product, which is pretty cool. If we go back to the blade, I'm gonna try to show this on camera, but it's gonna be a little bit difficult. I also said this was Benchmade too, but you can see that usually on Spyderco, there are very fine machining marks on the blades. If it's not so the Shaman has a stone wash finish, so you can't see them as well. But for example, a paramilitary 2 is a perfect example of that. There's grind lines that are very easy to see, and you can tell the steel has been machined very well. It's very difficult to show on camera, but you'll be able to see and know exactly what I'm talking about as soon as you hold one in your hand, and you know there's not really a weird light reflection on it. So that's pretty easy check, just so that you kind of know what you're getting high quality steel. And if it's coated blade, it's a little tricky as well, but that's another just minor check. I also don't have any carbon fiber Spydercos. So if you get, I know the Smock is a big one. I think there's one called the Siren that's carbon fiber. Make sure that you match the carbon fiber pattern to, again, go back to Blade HQ. I just go Blade HQ because they have good pictures usually. So go back to Blade HQ and make sure that the carbon fiber pattern checks out with the Blade HQ website pictures, the official pictures that Spyderco has released. A lot of times the carbon fiber will be in a weird checkered pattern. It'll be kind of glossy and smooth, and that's generally means it's either fake carbon fiber or it's not an actual Spyderco product. So that's another thing on very niche models. So Spyderco has a lot of models, so you can kind of pick and choose which of these things that you got to look for. But another big thing, if you know what a sharpening choil is, no Spyderco, at least again to my knowledge, no Spyderco comes with a sharpening choil. So what is a sharpening choil? You see right here how there is the steel that just is immediately ground into the blade, so there's no gap there. This is what a sharpening choil looks like. I have a case fixed blade here. So you'll see there's a little gap there where the knife is not sharpened up into like where the pommel where your finger stopped. And that's just to make it easier to sharpen so that you're not, without a sharpening choil, it's a little bit difficult on some models to get all the way to the edge and get an even sharpening. But no factory Spyderco, no authentic Spyderco will come with a sharpening choil. So that is a super, again, another easy spot. Just immediately look for that too. I kind of forgot about that at the beginning, but immediately look for that. That either means that it was somebody else had owned it and did that and ground that into the blade. But that is, again, that's probably unlikely. It probably means it's a fake. So keep an eye out for that. Let me think of what else here. The placement of the spider on the blade, that's another thing that I kind of forgot to mention with the blade. So based on where the spider is on the blade. So again, similar to the Benchmade butterfly, it's going to be placed at a very specific spot on each model. So it's a little bit different on every model, you'll kind of see, but typically it is centered with the spider hole. So it's kind of even in the middle with the spider hole. And that's a pretty easy check. A lot of times fakes will be either a little bit high or a little bit low on the blade. And again, just compare to the pictures, know on which particular model that you're shopping around for, know where it should be sitting on that, so you can very easily pick it out and show. Again, just harping on this, make sure that you're checking that all the fakes that I've seen have had something just slightly off about the font. So look at the pictures and make sure you know what the font is. Just be very informed when you're going to purchase. Again, it's a big purchase. Spydercos are getting up there in price, and you should know what you're looking for and you know, spend your money wisely. So you don't want to get burned on a fake, and you know that's frustrating. It happens, but hopefully this will help you out with all that. Another thing, I don't have this motto, but the Crew Carta is what they call it. The Crewwear and Micarta models of like the Paramilitary 2. I think there's a Para 3, a Mannix, maybe the Shaman has one, but generally I know the big popular one is the Mannix 2 right now, just because they released the Mannix 2 XL on it. And the Crew Carta should have liners that come up like this on every model. So the Paramilitary 2 does not have steel liners that come up like that. So you'll see the liners are showing here. The liners are nested inside the scales on the Paramilitary 2. And on some fakes on the G10, just standard Paramilitary 2 version, if it's a fake, you'll be able to see the liners just like so. But on the Crew Carta, you should be able to see them. So if you can't see them on the Crew Carta, that will imply that it's a fake. Again, that's just one of those things where if you're looking at pictures and you're doing research before purchasing, you'll know, and it'll just something will look off. You'll generally know that, you know, something is not perfect, or something just seems, you get a bad feeling about it. That's a joke that I was reading on, again, one of the forums, is people are saying just use your spidey sense. It's a terrible joke, but I thought I kind of chuckled at that. So if something feels off, if something feels wrong, you're on eBay, make sure that you're just using your better judgment. It's better to pass and not get burned on a fake and just be a little bit patient. If a deal is too good to be true, odds are it probably is. And if you're not super experienced in spotting fakes, I would be very, very cautious of these magic deals that pop out of nowhere, you know, like a Spyderco for 30 bucks on eBay. Sometimes at pawn shops, you'll get lucky and you'll see really cheap high-end knives that are just mispriced, but most of the time that usually is an indication that there's something off. So don't just rush into that and think it's a great deal. That's, again, you'll see a lot of people online just saying, I saw it was a fantastic deal and I couldn't pass it up, but you know, it turned out to be fake. And also, you know, that's another thing too. Generally, the pricing will be accurate. So if you're kind of mid-price, like a Paramilitary 2, let's say, I think they retail now for like 180, 190. If you're looking on eBay for one, and one is mid-tier price, it's 100. Let's say it's 100 bucks. It's kind of in a questionable area. It's not super dirt cheap to where it would be an obvious fake, but it's also not really close to the retail price, and it looks new. That should just, you know, make you raise your guard a little bit and, you know, think, what's the catch here? Is there something going on? And that's, again, just use your better judgment. A lot of people will rag on eBay and Amazon online for knives. And yes, there are absolutely tons of fakes all across those websites. But if you're doing your due diligence and you know what you're shopping for, you're buying from reputable sellers, odds are you'll be fine. But if you're really worried about it, it's probably not worth taking the risk. It's worth just waiting for a sale on Blade HQ or on Knife Center or Smoky Mountain Knife Works, or there's a million websites out there, and I'll eventually end up making a video on all these different places and where the best places are to shop for knives. But just be patient. Spydercos do go on sale rather frequently when compared to like Benchmades or Microtechs or other brands. So keep an eye out for sales. It really is not worth getting burned by a fake when you could just wait for it to go on sale. So I think that should cover everything. Just remember, check the blade, check for obvious spelling errors and such, check for the steel, make sure the steel is correct on the model you're borrowing. Make sure the biggest thing on the box is just this line going all the way up. Make sure there's no spelling errors on the box too. Spydercos it's generally rather simple. It's kind of obvious when Spydercos are faked. However, there are some good ones out there, so you just got to be vigilant. Make sure you're buying from reputable places, and make sure you know what you're looking for. So just do your research and be disciplined when it comes to that. If there's anything that I missed and any other ways that you look for fakes on Spydercos, please let me know. I'm absolutely open to hearing more. This is all I know. I'm trying to share everything that I know with you all, and I hope somebody finds this helpful. I hope this prevents somebody from getting burned on a fake, and I hope you learn something. Maybe you'll take this and share it with your buddies who are also looking at Spydercos as well. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks to those of you who have subscribed. I hope you're having a good National Knife Week. I'm excited for National Knife Day coming up on Saturday, and I really appreciate all the support. Trying to take the knife community over to X or Twitter, so go hit me up on there. If you ever have any questions, whether or not your knife is fake or something you're looking at and something just doesn't feel right and you want to know if it's authentic or not, please feel free to either tweet at me, comment here, send me a message on X or whatever, and just let me know. I'm happy to answer, happy to help out with whatever I can, and if not, I can try to pass you off to somebody who can help you out with that. So again, I appreciate the support. Thanks for watching, and hopefully, just let me know what you think of these videos. Hopefully it helps somebody out, and we can all work together as a community to put an end to this fake nonsense. So thanks for watching. Take care.